Hi there, my name is Marley and welcome to this week's vlog. In this vlog, I'm going to be reading nonfiction books as my theme. So I chose 3 nonfiction books that I've been having my eye on, I kind of want to read, and this is going to be kind of like an interesting experiment as I pretty much only read fiction books. Especially in the last couple years since I got back into reading, I have read 0 nonfiction, which I feel is like a little embarrassing. It's like if I read so much, I really should add in some nonfiction books. In the past, the nonfiction experience I've had is essentially memoirs and like celebrity biographies. None of the books I chose are going to be that type of nonfiction. So this is definitely going to be kind of a new thing for me and definitely more of like an experiment reading vlog. So I'll let you know the books that I plan on reading. The first one is called Ace: What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society, and the Meaning of Sex. This is by Angela Chen. It is a very popular book on BookTube. I hear people say really good things about it. Obviously, it's about asexuality, which I am interested in reading more about. Then we have Shy: How Being Quiet Can Lead to Success by Annie Ridout. This caught my eye because I am shy. I grew up being a very shy child. So when I saw this book, I think just randomly on Indigo or something, I was like, maybe that would be a good fit for me. So we're gonna try out reading this one. I haven't heard anything about it though. And then the third one is called Attached: The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. And this is by Amir, Levine, and Rachel S.F. Heller. This is more of a psychological book, and it is about different attachment styles, which is something I've been interested in learning more about. I'll see some TikToks that are about attachment styles, or I'll see certain YouTubers and podcasts talk about it. So I think it would be really cool to learn about the attachment styles and which ones I identify with, maybe which one my partner has, and we can talk about it and maybe improve our relationship or whatever. So those are the books I plan on reading. Hopefully you'll stick around to see how they go, hear my review, and see how it is reading nonfiction for the first time in a long time. And I've never read nonfiction books that are like this, besides textbooks in school. Here we go. Let's start the vlog. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday before the long weekend. So I have a half day at work, but I actually do have quite a bit to do. So we'll see how late I end up working. I plan on filming a video today for the channel, and then I want to read a lot. So I started Ace last night on the subway, so I didn't get too far, but I think I'm on the second chapter. And then I got home and I was talking to my boyfriend about it. I think it'll be a very interesting thing to kind of discuss as I read all these books and just discuss it with him and share what I learned and get his opinion. So I'll let you know at the halfway point kind of what I'm thinking. But I was already I feel like I'm already learning a lot, and it's making me analyze myself so much. But yeah, looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully I can read a lot for the vlog. I am 41% of the way through Ace, so I thought I would check in. It's definitely a really interesting book. I feel like I'm learning a lot. I feel like it's making me think a lot. Basically, asexuality, how it's described in the first chapter or two. And what I found very interesting is that it is having no physical attraction to people, but you can still have sexual desire, which I think is good to kind of explain that distinction. I feel like there's a lot of confusion over that. I think it makes sense because, it's accepted that people can be attracted to the same sex, the opposite sex, both. I think it makes sense that you can be attracted to none. Right? And then within that, there's a spectrum. There are certain aces who are sex repulsed. They literally want nothing to do with it. They don't even like to see it on TV or anything. And then there's asexuals who still have a lot of sexual desire, can still masturbate, can still enjoy sex with a partner, and it's just kind of a whole spectrum. of stuff. So it's very interesting. I do find myself having to like pay very close attention as I read though to all these different terms that the book is discussing, and paying attention to like what each of them means, because I feel like in society or whatever, we kind of group all these things together, right? Like you would put your sexual orientation together with your sexual desire and whatever, like all these different things, right? But this book is really breaking down like all the differences. But yeah, I do sometimes find myself being like, okay, this is a little, not boring, but it's like, it just isn't the same as reading a fun kind of fiction story. It's definitely a different experience I'm having, especially as I am kind of reading big chunks of this book at a time. I think that maybe if I read nonfiction after this vlog, after this video, I would try to maybe space out my reading of it instead of trying to kind of binge read 3 nonfiction books in a week, which is what I'm doing now. This might be setting myself up for failure a little bit with that. I think Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads has a good system where she tries to read 1 nonfiction a month. I feel like that's a pretty good idea, and you can kind of space out that nonfiction book throughout the month. That being said, like, it's still enjoyable, and it's not like I feel like I'm reading something like clinical and like super boring, but yeah, it's definitely like a little less entertaining than if I was reading like a thriller or something. But the author is also talking a lot about her life as well, and saying like her own little experiences, so it's a little bit like autobiographical. And then she also talked to like a bunch of different aces in the community as well. Yeah, each of the sections is going into something more specific, which is cool. Like we talked about how like gender can be involved in sexuality, and obviously like society's view of sexuality. Now I just read the chapter on like how race can affect asexuals, and how the asexual community is such a white community still, how that's hard for people of color who identify as ace. And the next chapter I'm going to be reading is about people with disabilities who are ace. So we're covering a lot of different stuff. It's definitely like an intersectional look at asexuality and just sexuality in general. So I think if this stuff sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it, and I feel like it's making me want to like discuss things. I've already talked about the book with my boyfriend and with my mom. So yeah, it's Friday. Tonight I think we're gonna get pizza, watch a movie, kind of have a chill time. Hopefully I will read a little bit more of the book, and I might check in if I have something interesting to say later, or I might just wait until I finish the book and come back to you with like a wrap up of the whole book. Hey vlog, I was drinking last night and I drank too much, unfortunately, way too much. So today's been a really slow, lazy day. I didn't get out of bed till like 2 p.m. and I have reached the 75% mark through ACE. I feel like there's not a lot for me to say during updates for this book. I still like it, but I just feel like it's hard for me to talk about all these topics because I just know I would not say them very eloquently. I would not discuss them very well, but I really encourage, if you guys are interested in these topics, to read this book where the author describes everything very well, with all of these interesting examples from real asexuals or aromantics. There's a lot of stories from real asexuals that she included, and it's interesting because a lot of them say that they didn't know what was wrong with them for like their whole life. They always felt really bad about themselves, not having an interest in sex and stuff. And then once they learned about the asexual community and kind of were able to put a name to it, it really helped them. So definitely, if you question your sexuality and think you could be ace, I think you should definitely read this book because it might really help you, especially because it does give so many different examples of asexualities, with it being like a whole spectrum and stuff. I don't know how I'm gonna end up rating all of these books because I like have never rated a nonfiction before. I know a lot of people just don't give ratings because they feel weird rating like a personal experience. I think I might rate them. We'll just see. I'm leaning towards a 4 with this because I like it, but I don't feel like I'm necessarily being like mind blown. I'm gonna try and finish it tonight. My boyfriend is out at a concert tonight, so it's just me here. So I'm gonna try and read the last section tonight, watch a movie. As I said, I'm not really getting as much off my to-do list as I wanted to. Wanted to maybe film a video today and stuff, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Finished Ace, and I feel like I don't really have anything else to add to what I've already said in my previous updates, but definitely an enjoyable book, easy to get through. It was not too long, not too dense or anything like that, but I'm definitely curious to continue with reading these next two nonfiction books and just kind of compare my experience between the three, see if any stand out as like really amazing. I guess like I am gonna give Ace 4 stars. I think I'm gonna read Shy next. I'm kind of saving the one I'm most excited for last with Attached. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get through Shy, and then tomorrow is a holiday for Labor Day weekend, so hopefully I'll get quite a bit read tomorrow, and I have no plans, so that will be nice. Hey guys, I've literally read one chapter of this next book, Shy, and I'm already feeling so many things. I think what the difference is going to be between these books is that with Ace, I was learning a lot, but it was not an experience that I related to. I'm sure if you were Ace and you read that book, you would have way more of an emotional response. Now that I'm reading this book about being shy, I am relating so hard to it, and it is really like reaching me on a deeper level. So even after this first chapter, I was like, wow, like I'm like almost crying because you know when you just read things that you like relate so hard to, I just feel like I'm really gonna like it. So one of the interesting things already in the first chapter was talking about the difference between being shy and other things that are similar, like having social anxiety or being an introvert, because I've always struggled with knowing like, am I an introvert or am I an extrovert? Because everyone that you asked that knows me would probably just say introvert, because that is like interchangeable with shy, or it's become interchangeable, but it's actually different. So if you're introverted, that means that you want to be alone and you like being alone, and that is where you get your energy from. Being extroverted is you like obviously being social, and that's where you get your energy. And that's always been confusing for me, because I do feel like I get more energy after I have good social interactions, but I was always like shy, so I'm like, am I introverted or am I extroverted? Now I think I am extroverted, but I'm shy, because you can be both, because being shy is basically the fear of being social, but you do want to be social still, but you're just scared of it. And so I think that's what I am. You know, look at me at 25, still figuring myself out here. And then shyness is technically different from social anxiety, like having an anxiety disorder, but that is where I think I do have both of those, because I mean everyone can be shy, right? And there's very like mild shyness, and then it can get more and more extreme to like actual social anxiety. And so I think that is more like, that's more the area I would be. But yeah, I'm realizing, okay, I think I am extroverted, but I am like a shy extrovert. So yeah, already kind of learning some stuff, and there's a lot of like quotes from psychologists and everything like that, so it's very like legitimate. It is mostly like UK based data. Like I think the author is British. Still, I am already loving it, and there's gonna be like little quotes and experiences from celebrities who are shy. Like we just had this little paragraph thing from this comedian who grew up being shy and how she kind of overcame it. And I think it's going to be a very like inspiring story, because shyness is not permanent. Like you can get past it. Like even me, I'm not as shy as I once was, and the author was really shy when she was young, and now she does like speaking gigs and stuff like that. And I feel like it's going to be helpful with like lessons of how to get over your shyness, and also just like motivational, inspirational kind of thing. But yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy this one even more, just because I have this personal connection to what the book is talking about, and I'm really excited to keep reading. This next chapter is called Being Shy Doesn't Make You Boring. So I feel like I would definitely relate to that, because I've always like felt like I was boring to other people, and it's been like an insecurity of mine. So this should be good. Yeah. Currently on a hot girl walk slash mental health walk slash my blood sugars are high after after lunch and I want to bring him down walk. So I am flying through this book. I'm 75% of the way through now. It's very quick to get through, very easily digestible, and as I said, I'm still continuing to relate to it and really enjoy it. They talked a bit about being shy with your career, right? And that was interesting. It was definitely relatable to me. They talked about how when you're shy, you might not be talking during a lot of situations or social situations. If you're not talking, that means you are thinking, like you're being introspective, thinking about yourself and like your behaviors, or thinking about the people around you's behaviors, and you're really just like taking it in and observing, and then that can be like really helpful for you in a career situation. There was also some studies, I guess, about having an introverted or an extroverted like manager, and that actually the businesses that had introverted managers were actually a little bit more successful. Like maybe they're just more approachable if they're more of like a quieter manager, and the employees would feel more comfortable to speak up and stuff like that. So there's definitely benefits of having like a quieter leader as well. There was also a lot of advice from people on how they got over their shyness. As you can imagine, a lot of it is just kind of putting yourself in situations that are outside of your comfort zone and then just eventually getting more comfortable, like especially with public speaking. There's a lot of examples with that. They even touched on how a lot of performers actually are shy, like musicians and actors and stuff. And again, just sort of putting themselves out there, they just kind of get more used to it, or they develop like a persona for when they perform. Like Beyonce was an example with creating Sasha Fierce, just kind of fake it until you make it kind of thing. I do think that's an interesting discussion with shy children specifically, of like how much should you force shy kids to do things they don't want to do and are scared to do, because I think that obviously it can be helpful for them, but I also, as someone who grew up shy, like feel like it can even be traumatizing sometimes. And I think in this book they said psychologists actually don't recommend always doing that. But anyway, it's just been very interesting, and now this latest chapter has been talking about therapy and how cognitive behavioral therapy can be very helpful for people with social anxiety and shyness, which I actually did a little bit of that during the pandemic when I was feeling really not well mentally, and there were all these like free apps and stuff during the pandemic that people were talking about. But I actually wonder if like I should actually do more of that. Yeah, all these nonfiction books are really just making me analyze myself a lot. I think if I read more nonfiction books moving forward, I would read more books like this that I personally related to, even more about this specific topic, like about social anxiety and shyness. I think it would be really interesting. So yeah, I'm really close to being done the book. It says it's going to take me like 22 more minutes, so I'll probably quickly finish that up, and then we'll make dinner. I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking about this rating and if I have any other thoughts, but it's kind of hard with these nonfiction books. I don't want to just like spew all of the points that these people are making and like just say the whole book, but I'm just kind of bringing up some of the things I think are most interesting. But I really recommend, if you are shy or have social anxiety, to read this. It might help you feel very seen, to know there's so many other people who feel the same way, especially like successful people. And maybe if you're not shy, it would also be helpful if you just want to understand shy people more. Like maybe you are a boss or like a leader in your company and you want to like understand a different type of person, or like if you're extroverted, you want to understand non-extroverted people. They definitely still use introvert and shy like interchangeably throughout this book, but I do believe that they are different. I think just some people just use them interchangeably still. Vlog. So I finished Shy a little bit earlier. I ended up giving it 5 stars like I predicted. I always love a very quick, easy read, and that's what it was. I will say I was looking back at my other footage, and I know I talked about like how it gave advice for getting over shyness, but it also talked about how it was okay to be shy. It wasn't some big flaw. It's just okay for people to be shy. It's acceptable. Now I've gotten into attachment, and I'm only like 10% of the way through. I've really just started it, but I am feeling like there's gonna be a little bit of a difference between this one and the other two. The other two were like from a first person perspective. The author was including some autobiographical components, some little anecdotes from both of their personal lives, and this one is not from that first person perspective, and I think it might just be like a little bit more clinical, whereas the other two were written by writers. Even though it was about certain topics, this one is written by psychologists, so I think there will be a little bit of a different vibe, but I think the content will still be interesting. Yeah, going into it, I know that there's 3 attachment styles that they're talking about. It is secure, avoidant, and anxious, and I feel like I'm anxious with certain experiences I have with relationships, but I don't know, I feel like right now I'm like, maybe I'm avoidant as well, so I'll have to keep you posted on like which one I think I am. Apparently 50% of people are secure, and then it's a little bit split between avoidant and anxious for the other half of the population, and there's like some people that will be both, like, but like a very rare number. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to end up being, but I'm going to be like over analyzing it a lot, I think. Okay, I know this book came out like over 10 years ago, but I'm so annoyed with all of this she, he's combinations. Like you can just put they or their. You don't have to use these gendered terms. And it also just looks clunky. Like that doesn't look good. But anyways, I guess because it's written in 2010, but like you can say they, like we don't have to assume it's he or she. Just saying. Alright, it is the next day. I am about halfway through Attached. I'm a little bit disappointed by it, I have to say. I feel like it's dragging a little bit. But there was this quiz to do to see what your attachment style was. So I took it and I got pretty much a tie between secure and anxious attachment style. So I'm still not 100% sure what I am. I even did a quiz online and it said anxious, but I'm leaning more towards secure, actually. I think what I'm struggling with in this book, or what it's missing, is that it is only focusing on romantic relationships. And normally in my romantic relationships, that is the person I feel most secure with and most comfortable. And it's more like friendships and other relationships that I have more anxiety about. So I kind of wish this book would focus on like overall attachment styles. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what makes it a little bit tricky for me, because I think I would definitely have an anxious attachment style with friendships, but more of a secure one with my romantic partner. So I know I mentioned this is a little bit outdated. I think it came out in 2010, so maybe there would be like an updated one that would go into that kind of thing. Then there was also a section where you could kind of like answer these questions to see whether what your partner was. And again, it got kind of tied between anxious and secure for what I think he is, but I do kind of lean more towards anxious for him. So we're either like a secure anxious duo or an anxious one. I don't know. But because of that, like I'm not totally connecting with this. Like I don't overly feel like I'm relating to any of the scenarios. Another thing that's weird about this, again, going back to how it's kind of outdated, I just read a book about asexuality, right? People who don't want to have sexual relationships with people or romantic relationships, and now I'm reading this book that is like very binary and really seems to promote the idea that like everyone needs someone and needs an attachment in a romantic sense. So I just feel like I'm reading books that are kind of conflicting each other a little bit. Like how would aces fit into the attachment styles, especially this book that has the romantic attachment style perspective? I just feel like kind of confused about that. So again, that's why maybe there are newer attachment books out there that would take into account these sort of non-binary views of relationships and attachments and stuff. I don't know. Psychology, like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Everyone is so complex. Everyone is so unique. So I feel like it's hard with these books to really totally encapsulate every situation. So I will probably just update again once I'm done it. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts so far. I don't really feel like I'm learning that much about like myself or my relationship or anything. So hey readers, I finished Attachments. I thought I'd put Peach in my camera angle. I don't know why, I just felt like it. Finished Attachments, I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It obviously was my least favorite of the 3 for a bunch of reasons I already said, very heteronormative and things like that. I do feel like I got a little bit of tips, like it kind of helped me to understand that like not everyone is the same in relationships, and kind of understand specifically people with anxious attachment styles, because I don't think I've dated anyone with an avoidant one. So I think it helped a little bit. I don't know, just not my favorite. There were so many like little fake examples of like conflicts in relationships, and I was kind of just getting over reading them. But I think overall this vlog was pretty successful. I definitely was nervous to read nonfiction for the first time, and we got a 5-star, 4-star, and 3 stars, so I think that is pretty good. I also got through these books kind of quickly. It literally only took a week to read all 3 of them, and I think that's pretty good. Hopefully you guys liked this video. Definitely let me know. I feel like it was like a little bit different than my normal stuff because I was reading nonfiction, and I also talked about more like personal stuff when I was like reflecting and everything. So let me know your thoughts on any of these books, and maybe give me nonfiction recommendations if you guys have any that you think I would like after watching this vlog, because I feel like I might get into a bit of a nonfiction kick. We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you got through the whole video, be sure to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you next time in next week's video. Bye from me and Peach. Aww.